That's it. You managed to gather 10K or you stole your grandma credit card. I don't care. But we are going to see how you can build the perfect $10,000 crypto portfolio to transform it maybe into 100K, maybe into $1 million in crypto. I don't know. But what I will show you is actually not just what I think I would do. It's exactly what I'm doing in public with a portfolio, and you can do the same. By the way, welcome on Handsome Finance, where we study what's happening on chain, because the blockchain is an open ledger. So we can see all the transactions, who bought, when they sell, and we can know who made money, and that helps us to make better decisions and to make money. So don't forget to pour down your little matcha and let's get going. The first and most important thing is to see what you should not do, because everything else will be easier. You should not do IDO or angel investing. If you don't know what it is, that's perfect, because you don't need to do it if you have 10K. Second thing is to run multiple strategy. We have now a portfolio with $10,000. We don't have all the resources in the world, so we cannot go after airdrops and after some different kind of trading and trading algorithm spreading everything around. We can't do that. We cannot have a weak strategy. It's the same in dating. If you don't have the perfect pictures by a professional photographer, and maybe even edited, I don't care, to look as much as you can to someone a bit like me, then don't use Tinder. Don't use any dating apps. It's not going to be good for you unless you go to the really small one, but that's another topic. If you have some particular taste, I know which one you should use. Anyways, use only centralized exchanges. We can't afford to do that. Why? Because the opportunities are not on the centralized exchange. Centralized exchange is the secondary market. They have a part of the opportunities, but not all of them. And proof is in the pudding. Again, 3 days ago, I showed this launch of a crypto, Satoshi VM. It was not on centralized exchanges at that time. And everyone in the investors boardroom that were on it at least doubled, made 4x in just few hours. And this is what I want you to do as much as I can. So I will help you in this, and you will understand if you stay until the end of this video. Of course, if your attention span don't allow you to do this and you're going to do an all-in, well, I hope luck is with you. Don't all-in stupidly and don't go into something you don't understand. Right. Now, what needs to be done? We know what we can't do. Evaluate your capacity. This is the test. Don't fail at this test. Or how many hours can you spend on it per week in crypto? Give you a number. It can be 1 to 10. All right. Then what is your knowledge about it in crypto? If you didn't know about IDO, if you didn't know about angel investing, if you don't know what is a multisig, then I guess your score is below 5. If you know what is on-chain analysis, because you've been subscribed to Handsome Finance, your score should be maybe around 6 or 7. But otherwise, if you don't use any decentralized exchanges, you're below 5. You are 2 or 3. And this is fine. It doesn't mean that you can't make money, because with all the strategy, no matter what is your score, you can make a lot of money. And I will show you all the strategy. So now, please write down your score. You can put it in the comments. You add up those two. How many hours per week you can spend, plus how much knowledge you have about the topic. You score it. Right. Now, if you have a score below 10, what should you do? Well, you should, of course, drop a like. No, but seriously, only stay in BTC and ETH, Bitcoin, Ethereum. This is simple, but if we have limited resources and limited time and limited knowledge, this is what we should use. Just Bitcoin, Ethereum, you can go 50-50 on it, and you will use dollar cost average. If your exchange doesn't offer to do DCA, you could use the bot Delta Badger. This is one that I used in the past. It's pretty easy. DCA is actually you buy automatically at different time. Bing, 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 bing. You don't think about it, whatever the price goes. And like this, you have a peace of mind and automation, and you don't need to think about it. Now, how could you make those 10K? What's going to happen to it? Well, you have to understand that if you have this strategy, you can still win, because you can spend more time fueling up this strategy with more money inside it. Now, let's say your score was between 11 included and 15. BTC ETH, 50%. That's it. Then you can go with the narrative. For the narrative, I will automate it. If you don't know what is a narrative, then you should not be in this category, but you can stay along in this video because I hope that the more you watch those videos, the more your score will go up, particularly for the knowledge one, so you can get better at it. The narratives are basically group of coins, categories. For example, on CoinGecko, we can see Binance Launchpad, Real World Asset, Play to Earn are narratives. I will use something automated like Basketfolio. I don't know if there's other solutions on the market. This is one that I created. But for example, I want to invest in the top 5 layer 2. I'm going to have Matic, OP, IMX, IRB, SKL, which are already good coins. I just start this basket and every week it will be balanced itself. So I don't need to care about it. That's it. I will just roll those narrative if I want to change. For example, maybe at the beginning I'm going to be, oh, I want to go with GameFi. And then I'm like, actually gaming is not going to be the one. Maybe it's going to be layer 2. And then you change it. You could, for example, follow this dashboard that will give you some insights about what's happening on the different narrative. For example, pretty bad day to be in GameFi here. Before going to the third strategy where you probably make most of your gains, let me show you what happened recently on our portfolio. So for the record, we started with 10K. We have 6.6 here and 4.5 here. So we had 1,100, but let's not forget that we also have a little bit of Solana on some bots that we are doing some copy trading because I follow some really good portfolios and there we are like 3 or 4 Solanas. So that's $400 more, I would say max. So that's $11,500. And we have some Quark that we bought. So the portfolio overall is around $12,000. And now you might say, yeah, but the market really dropped into one, so you probably lost a lot of money. Well, luckily, not that much because the day just before the drop, I sold a lot of my positions in Unibot, in Mubi, and in SAVM. I invest everything in public so everyone could see what I'm doing. But this is to show you. So in just 2 weeks, made $2,000. I understand it's not life-changing money, but it's still better than nothing. The most important thing in crypto is to not lose it all. If you don't lose it all, when the market is going up, everything is going up. You can't fuck this up. And of course, you could do some copy trading. Now, if your score is above 15, good job on you. You can have a good time. So BTC ETH, we're still gonna have 25% of our portfolio in it. Then narrative rotation. So depending of the big trending narratives, we are going to change a little bit our portfolio. This is something that happens every 2 weeks in general. That requires some time, but that's why I ask you to score that. Because there's not one portfolio that is good for everyone. It doesn't make sense. And even the coins that I could mention today, in 6 months would be totally different. If you check the history of crypto, it's always changed. You know actually how many coins stay in the top 20 every 3 or 4 years? Less than 20%. So it means like everything that is trending now will probably not be here, or at least not in the top 20 in 3 or 4 years. So that's why narrative rotation, and here some good coins has been mentioned everywhere, and I think that will be having a good potential in this bull market will be ICP, Beam, Sway, and Say. Those ones are still big market caps, but where we will make our money will be probably in the last 25%, which be to focus on only one narrative. Whatever the narrative you want, you can choose it here. I have tons of video about it, and you focus on one. Why do we do this? Because this is where you will get insights. And if you spend your time focused on the one thing, you will get a lot better at it. And I want you to get as close as possible to the source of information. Before showing you how you could really make a lot of money into a narrative, I want to give you the multiples you could do for each strategy. The first strategy will be between 2x and 4x. Of course, you can lose it all on everything that we saw. I mean, for the first strategy, it will be really hard to lose it all. You have to do a massive mistake. You have to use only centralized exchange to have a weak strategy with no security and leave it everything on it, and then your exchange got hacked. That will be the case. Otherwise, I'm not sure about that. Is it financial advice? No. Is it dating advice? Neither. But is it advised to not have a big ego that will ruin your life? Yes, it is. Second strategy, we can do a 4x to 8. Pretty good, that's fine. And then the other one is 4x to 20x and could be even more. It depends how much you dig into the other one. But where the money will be made, and I saw many people doing it because I've been helping people investing in crypto for more than 7 years and created more than 2 millionaires. What I can say is that it doesn't really matter what you choose here. What matters is going to be the strategy that you have outside crypto as well. Because if you have a company, if you have a work, and then you manage to grow that income, then you can use this income to fuel it back up into your investment. And this is where you can make the bigger multiples. Because if you rely only on crypto, I'm sorry, but this is not the best way to do it. Now, to find those 20x coin, 50x or 100x, that would be on the smaller part of a portfolio because you should have only maximum 10 bets when you're doing this kind of thing. Well, it will be BTC ETH. First, are they growing? Yes. On the good side, yes. I picked a good narrative that is going up, that have a trend. Trend is your friend until it's not. And then once I have my narrative, I will go deep into the shitcoins. So what is below 100 million market cap and where the smart money is going in as well. For example, if the narrative that I choose is Bitcoin, then one thing I will check is Atomical. Atomical Bitcoin is not that well known, but it's still a big project. And I will check the big coins around it, Atom, Quark, their NFTs, things like that. The technology is amazing. Now, maybe this project will go nowhere. I can't know, but I know there is a good potential. And then after, it's always how much risk you take versus how much reward you can get. And of course, after all those coins, if you dig deeper, is the rug pull. So if you don't know what a rug pull is, then your score before is below 6. So you shouldn't be on the third category. Now, if you want to know how I will choose the coins into the third category, I show my process here, and you will have all the cards to really find those 100x. And actually, proof is in the pudding because I showed multiple coins that did 2x or 4x in just few days by using this. So invest in public. This is what I do. If you want to do this together, you can join the investors boardroom and let me know your score and strategy in the comments. It was a pleasure, but don't forget one thing before you leave. Stay handsome. Ciao.